কিছু talk করি. So dear students, please see, research is most important thing because research gives you new findings and you can gain new knowledge in research, and for research you need to collect data. Oh sir, এতে ক্লাস করে আসো? Oh, Shantiniketan. So for research you need to collect data. Data is the raw form of information. First you collect the raw form of information that is known as data, and then you refine it, you analyze it, and then this data will be converted into purest form, and that is known as information. And that information you can share with others, you can share with the society, and other people will be using it for whatever purpose. It may be social benefit, it may be anything, for further research also it may be there. So this is research. So you can collect data in two ways. One is primary data, other is secondary data. One is primary source, other is secondary source. The primary data you collect for the first time yourself, which was not there earlier, and the secondary data is something which some other person has collected, you take from him. Suppose you go to government department, they have already collected data. So you take that data and then you use it for your purpose. That is secondary data. So you should know how primary data is collected, what are the methods of collecting primary data, and you should know where secondary data may be available, what are the sources of secondary data. So there may be the question, what are the sources of primary data, what are the sources of secondary data. To write it, to compare between primary data and secondary data. And you have to compare, you have to compare between primary data and secondary data, and primary data has its own benefit, and primary data has its own limitations, demerits, you can say. Because everything you cannot go for primary data, collecting primary data. And secondary data has its benefit, secondary data has its limitations, and both. So you shall think and decide for your research which is important. You can use both primary data and secondary data. You can use only primary data, you can use only secondary data, it depends. But the topic that I have given you, this topic you only do primary data. Sorry, you do primary data and secondary data, both. You do both. Primary data should not be neglected because you need to collect. And for collecting primary data, there are various methods. One method is collecting data through questionnaire. Question is a list of questions you make and then ask your respondents to fill up, and that way you can collect the data. Then personal interview. You can take personal interview of some people and then take the information and write it in your research paper or in your research work. And then you can only observe what is going on. Yesterday you have seen the rats there and other things, rabbits. So you observe what they are doing. So by observation you collect the primary information. That is also primary data. Or you can take information from directly asking questions to some people. That is personal interview. That is personal interview. Then collect data and then you use it. And the other is, which is mostly used and largely used in all types of research, in PhD, in small researches, that is through questionnaire. And questionnaire means a list of questions which you take to your respondents. Respondents means the people whom you approach for information. Suppose you want to collect data from businessmen, from suppose 25 businessmen you want to collect data. So you visit 25 businesses and talk to these people, give them a questionnaire, request them to fill up the questionnaire, and you bring it. Then your 25 questionnaires are filled up, and then you sit at home and analyze who said what according to question. 25, I have said 25, it may be anything, it depends. And that 25 is sample, because in your area there may be 2,000 businessmen. So 2,000 total is known as population. The total respondents known as population. But you cannot go for total collection. And sometimes you have to go for total. Then if you collect data from total people, it will be census survey. But if you collect data from few people, it will be sample survey. So suppose your sample is 25. So collect data from 25 people. So those 25 people will depend on your research topic. Suppose you are collecting data regarding the use of GST software. Suppose payment of GST, suppose payment of income tax. Suppose you want to collect data about Income Tax Act 2025 awareness program. How many people know it? Or you want to collect data regarding e-filing of taxation. Anything may be there, anything may be there. So you decide your topic, and according to topic, you decide from whom you should collect the data. So those people will be respondents. Then before going to them, you make a beautiful questionnaire. So in the questionnaire, I am just telling what may be there. At the top, you can give name, then address, then age. You can give this way. It depends on your topic. Age, then it may be family members, or if it is business, then when the business was started, what type of business you are doing, then what is your capital, what is your annual sale, maybe like that. Then your total profit of 5 years, maybe. I don't know. It depends on you. You want to know information. So you shall write accordingly. Then have you taken a loan or not? If you have taken a loan, to a loan from where you have taken the loan, and what is the rate of interest? Did you find any problem in collecting loan, in obtaining loan from government sources? Did you face any problem in applying for loan from bank? Did you get any problem in enjoying a subsidy from the government? Does the government give subsidy to these types of business? These types of various questions you can ask, but it depends on your topic. I have said at random so many questions, but you shall use what you, suppose you want to study the, suppose COVID, you want to study whether people are suffering from COVID, then you can, data will be, questionnaire will be different. Suppose you want to study whether these people are interested in, suppose, entrepreneurship. So you go to the people who have not started business, you can go to the students and ask the students, are you interested in entrepreneurship? What is your name? Then family members, then earning, then education, what is your aim? Then are you interested in entrepreneurship, means doing new thing, new business. If you are interested in entrepreneurship, what type of business you want to do? If you want to do this types of business, what will be your capital? And what will be the place of business? Are you going for manufacturing or simply purchasing and selling, means trading, or what exactly? What exactly you do? So these types of question you make, and that question you ask the people. You want to ask the students of Girijananda Chaudhary University, suppose you want to take information from 50 students. This is sample is 50 students, suppose. So make 50 questionnaires, same questionnaire, 50 copies, and distribute all students, and ask them kindly fill up, and approach them with a friendly manner. Talk to them very nicely. Then they will fill up. Don't use you behave correctly, nicely. Then obviously information can collect easily. But those information, those filled up questionnaires with them, you see it nicely in table with your guide, with your supervisor, with your friend, it may be with your research team, and then you analyze. How many people said they will go for IT job? How many people said they will go for agro business? How many people said they will go for poultry farming? You find that, and these data are coming. Then make a table. Itna people, suppose IT business, so many people. Suppose agro business, so many people. Suppose floriculture, fruits, so many. Floriculture is flower. So many horticulture, so many. So make a table and total it. This will be statistics information. And from that information, make a bar diagram, make a pie diagram, make other details, and then table, then graph, and then you interpret what the meaning of it. That is interpretation. So that will be analysis part. So this will be data analysis. It will give a table, give a graph maybe. Sometimes you may not be using the graph. Maybe it depends on you. And then you interpretation. And after that, you write findings. At the beginning, you have to give objective of study also. Objective of study. 2, 3, you can take in a small project. Objective of the study. Then after analyzing, you give the findings. After findings, suppose 10, 12 findings with the number 1, 2, 3, 4, similar. And after that, you give your suggestions. And after that, you give your conclusion. And after that, you give the bibliography, where you have used it from, which book you have used, which sources you have used, references. It may be online also, it may be books. You give a list, and then you attach the questionnaire which you have used. So this will be your project. This will be dissertation, very simple. And this dissertation will be around 30, 40, 45 pages. Don't go more than that. And which will make a subject. So thank you very much. कैसा लगा आज का क्लास? पैर का नीचे पैर दिखा दो. हम लोग शांति निकेतन जैसे उधर जाओ थोड़ा सा. So we are doing this class like what Rabindranath Tagore did in Shanti Niketana, and still going on in Shanti Niketana, this type of class, sitting under the tree and with the students, the teacher teaches. A beautiful experience. So कैसे लगा? कैसे लगा? हाँ दिखा दो इससे सबको दिखा दो. अच्छा लगा बोल दो. अच्छा लगा बोल दो. कैसे लगा? कैसे लगी से?
ভাল লাগিছে
Well, like I say, so you are going back meeting very soon. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.